Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Josh Klayman, Senior Counsel and Head of Fintech, Blockchain, and Digital Assets at Linklaters. We're going to cover President Biden's new executive order as it relates to the digital asset space. Josh, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill. It's great to be here.
And give us an overview of the executive order. How do you think the industry received it?
So I think across the board, there have been a number of reactions. One has been that this is a tremendous validation for the industry. Certainly those of us who've been in the space for a while and our clients, we've been asking for some kind of coordinated approach for a long time. And while there has been, a lot of coordination behind the scenes, we believe, among the agencies and regulators, this is really the first time we're hearing from the President of the United States, about the digital asset space in this manner, and really saying we're going to have a coordinated approach. This is an important area. It's a far cry from when people were saying, I just don't believe in Bitcoin a short while ago. Now, at the same time, and none of this is legal advice, so none of it's investment advice, obviously, I have to say that. But what we're also hearing from clients who are in the trenches, really with deals that they're trying to do, with tokens that they may be looking to issue and business plans that they're trying to work upon, they're asking, what does this mean? Okay, so reports, we're going to have reports that are due in X number of days, in many cases 120 days, for example, from these various regulators and agencies. And yes, they're going to have studies, but what about all the things that we've been waiting for in the meantime? What does this mean for people who are trying to obtain, say, OCC charters, right? Or who may be applying or wish to apply for special purpose broker-dealer licensing, right? These are things that have been moving, slowly as it is. And there have been a lot of questions, even with things like, for example, the President's Working Group report on stablecoins, which was really great in terms of educating folks on stablecoins, the risks, things like that. But really, what does it mean from a client's perspective? When you say, okay, what do I need to do to become a legally compliant stablecoin issuer in the US? Based upon the President's Working Group report on stablecoins? Well, we don't know yet, right? And so I think this period of time, while it is really, as some have said, like putting the rubber to the road in terms of getting a coordinated approach, really in the meantime, what happens to things that are already out there that have been moving more slowly?
And Josh, that's what's so interesting, and we see this when it comes to technology and finance in general, is that it moves much quicker than the regulators can keep up with it, not by fault of their own. It moves so fast, and regulation isn't something that you can just flip a switch and it works in lockstep with the technology and how people are investing. So in reality, when do you think all of the mechanisms can be put into place for this?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine in terms of how long it may take. I think technology is always evolving, as you said. So regulators are always going to be playing catch up. One of the beautiful things about our laws, which also can be one of the challenging and frustrating parts, is that in many cases within the US, we have principles-based laws, right? Principles-based regulation or rules. For example, many people have talked about, say, the Howey test in the securities context. Right? Sometimes things are written in such a way that the principles are intended to apply to technologies we can't yet foresee, which is a great beauty and flexibility, so we don't have obsolete laws. When you think about taking that history and then trying to knit together a comprehensive approach for really what is kind of a new world, Web3 is kind of like, going from the, the here and now into the internet in Web 2.0, right? It's a huge paradigm shift. And I think it's going to take a lot of time. My hope is that with this sort of this coordinated approach, we'll have meaningful steps along the way that show a path. But I don't think we're going to have a path that doesn't continue to have to be built out. Just like software doesn't ever get to an end point. It always needs to be updated.
All right, Josh, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
My pleasure. Thanks again.